A profane but very spot-on way of saying what's going on in D.C. from Sonny Wright. Reminder, he says that D.C. is not a state. It's a federal property that is completely and totally subservient to the federal government, and its government exists only by a revocable act of Congress. It's not a constitutionally distinct entity. It's the bitch of Congress. That actually is spot on right there. Kevin Corke with Fox News. I did not know this. He too is a victim of an armed carjacking in D.C. He says, as the victim of such, I say nothing of numerous. Excuse me, let me repeat what he says. As the victim of an armed carjacking in D.C., to say nothing of numerous other property crimes, I can tell you firsthand this is no way to live, Corke says. Now, he's responding to Katie Pavlich and what she said about DC statistics. I can't talk tonight. In 2024, DC had the fourth highest homicide rate in the United States, with a rate nearly 6 times higher than New York City. 6 times higher homicide rate than New York. Wow. Okay, here's more. This is from NBC News, Washington. The chief of police for DC, Metropolitan Police, was just put on paid leave in mid-May for allegedly doctoring statistics to make it look safer in D.C. The union, who you're going to hear from in just a moment, says when our members respond to the scene of a felony offense where there's a victim reporting a felony occurred, inevitably there will be a lieutenant or a captain that will show up on the scene and direct those members to take a report for a lesser offense. So instead of taking a report for a shooting or a stabbing or a carjacking, they'll order that officer to take a report for theft or an injured person to the hospital or a felony assault, which is not the same classification. It's rigged. It's all rigged. So you see the statistics from 2024 in DC. They're insane. They're astronomical. By the way, currently, crime is better. These cities have better crime stats than DC does. Ready? Islamabad, Pakistan. Ottawa, Canada. London. It's 10 times worse than it is in London, in DC, the crime. Boga, Bo, Boga, Bogota, Colombia. Dude, that's the narco capital of the world. Mexico City has better crime stats than DC. And the Democrats are complaining and moaning. You'll hear from them in a minute. It's wild. They're protesting Trump because they support crime. They want to support crime in their district. Only the Democrats would do something this stupid. Okay, so continuing on with the NBC report in D.C. on the police chief, he's on paid leave since mid-May. The department is focusing on 2 categories in order to get the numbers to fall, the police union says: armed with a dangerous weapon and injured person to the hospital. What they're doing is they're taking it, a felony assault, and they're turning it into a felony assault. A felony assault is not a category of crime that's listed in the department's crime stat analysis. It's also not listed in the FBI USAR, the Uniform Crime Reporting Program. So what they're doing is avoiding both the Metro Police and the FBI from reporting it, and they're bearing all the truth, is what the union says. In fact, NBC in Washington, D.C. says D.C. crime stats show violent crime was down this year from last year, which was insane. As far as last year's was insane. Oh, it's down all of a sudden, 20%. Whoa! That's preposterous, says the police union spokesperson. There's absolutely no way crime could be down 28%. Last year, they suggested it went down 34%. Oh, it's magic! In April, listen to this, the head of the union, police union in D.C., in April, his wife was transferred. She's a captain. She was transferred to midnights on another district, which was considered obviously a big dispromotion, whatever you want to call it, demotion. A week later, after that retaliation was done to the spokesperson for the union, which you can't do, the commander was pulled, his powers were revoked, and 5 law enforcement sources told NBC4 or News 4 in D.C. So a week later, after retaliation, he was revoked with pay pending this investigation. So this is who all the Democrats, you'll hear from in a second, are quoting and saying, statistics are down, crime is down. Yes, you're quoting a chief who's been on paid leave since mid-May for rigging the numbers. Let me read from the Washington Post, which tries to cover this all up, but still indicts itself and crime in D.C. They're quoting one person, quote, that lives in one of these areas that's had a lot of scary stuff. This is a safe city, but overhearing and witnessing gang threats and then watching the camera footage of the thuggery is disturbing, said one resident, speaking on the condition of anonymity over concerns of personal safety. You can't people can't are afraid to give their names when they're being quoted on the crime in DC because they're afraid they'll get retaliated against. This is like Hamas or something, Gaza. So let me read on though. So this is a safe city, but overhearing and witnessing gang threats and watching the camera footage of the thuggery is disturbing, said one resident, speaking in condition of anonymity. The crowd of teens, he said, were roaming the streets and appeared to be checking for unlocked cars and things to steal. The language Trump uses to describe DC is wrong. This guy says the language is wrong, but clearly there's something bad going on that needs to stop. In other words, Trump is right. I don't like Trump. I don't like the way he said it, but Trump is right. They are begrudgingly admitting that he's right and that they need these this crime stuff cracked down on big time. Let me read. Let me play from you. This is crazy. Fake news. CBS actually told the truth for once. Listen to this.
We've been talking so much about the numbers, and yeah, usually that's how you play devil's advocate, is you talk about, oh, well, stats say crime is down. However, I can tell you firsthand here in downtown D.C. where we work, right here around our bureau, just in the past 6 months, there were 2 people shot. One person died, literally 2 blocks down here from the bureau. It was within the last 2 years that I actually was jumped walking just 2 blocks down from here. And then just this morning, one of my coworkers said her car was stolen a block away from the bureau. So we can talk about the numbers going down, but crime is happening every single day because we're all experiencing it firsthand while working and living down here.
Every journalist, it seems, has been carjacked, attempted carjacked, beaten, mugged. It's in fact what they should really do is do a query of all journalists in DC and say, "Have you not been mugged? Have you not been a victim of crime in DC?" And you might find that maybe 10, 20, 30% haven't, the rest have. This is terrifying for this to go down. By the way, it was okay when Joe Biden signed a congressional resolution 2 years ago overturning the DC City Council's revision to its criminal code, making things less harsh. So Joe Biden can do it, but not Trump. Orange man, bad, even though he's right. Eleanor Holmes Norton, the fake congresswoman, she's a representative, but she's a delegate, but she can't be a representative, as you know, because it's a federal district, which can be taken away at any time from Congress. But anyway, she says that, oh, here's this garbage, playing the race card. Black and brown are DC residents, a majority of whom are black and brown. She says are worthy and capable of governing themselves. Oh no, of course they are. It's a choice. And the leaders of DC have chosen to allow thugs and crime to rule. And therefore, Trump is going to step in, just like Biden did 2 years ago with overruling the leftist city council. It's one thing if it's your city that's rotting, but it's another if it's the capital where all of our congressmen and congresswomen and just, but it's not okay for any of our cities to go down like this. Trump is, of course, as you know, reportedly looking at doing this for New York, Chicago, LA. I don't know if he will. We'll see how this goes. I think he needs to wait for the right time to do anything like that. Right now, the focus on DC, I think, is very apropos. Here we go. Also, the crime rate in DC is more than double the national average. In 2023, was more than double the national average. The violent crime rate was more than 3 times as high. And they have the highest rate of car theft. I mean, this is a 5-alarm fire, man. Okay, Hillary Clinton comes out and says, "Oh," she attacked Trump, of course, and said violent crime in DC is at a 30-year low. That's funny. Zorhan Mandami, the communist, fake socialist, real communist, says, "I will fight back if Trump tries to fight crime in my town." Yes, we want crime. Well, in fact, let's hear from these crazy nut job Democrats and leftists who had a pro-crime rally today against Trump.
Great. The president has been trying to provoke violence here, right here, in the black communities and in the brown communities, having ICE kidnap our neighbors, having the black community be harassed and profiled and want a response.
Who's harassed and profiled black people? Trump just took it over like yesterday.
We say, hell no, we won't go.
Hell no, we want crime. Hell yes, we want crime. Hell yes, we want crime. Now we need some help down here. We want crime.
We won't go. We won't go. Hell no, we won't go. When we say we won't go, that means we're not going to those mass incarceration into their prisons and enslavement. We won't go into their.
Who the hell's putting U.S. citizens in prisons and enslavement that haven't committed a crime?
To their ICE, those in what do you call his beautiful centers that he got.
His beautiful centers, yes, beautiful centers. There's many booties at the beautiful center. Yes, they're. She says they're beautiful.
We won't go to where alligators live. Hell no, we won't go.
Come on, Trump's just sending people that are criminals to alligator Alcatraz that are citizens. Not.
Oh.
These poor fools. This is a pro-crime rally. Hell yes, we want crime. Hell yes, we want crime.
Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Today we gather.
You will go to alligator Alcatraz now. Hell no, we want crime. Yes, whatever.
Speak plainly about policy paths that sound strong, but in truth, it weakens the very safety we seek.
All right, thank you, pro-crime D.C. resident over there. Let's go to more people. Man on the street interview on D.C. 3 different people Fox News just randomly interviewed.
I've been in D.C. about 12 years, gotten a little out of control, especially in the summer. U Street has just become a mess with teens out late causing ruckus.
Right now, we're not safe with kids and the teenagers doing everything.
Okay, we need all the protection that we can get in the city because the city is really getting dangerous. A person like me at this age, I have to make sure to come home before sundown. If you get out the subway, you're scared that they're going to take your purse. It's just dangerous.
Are all these people making this up? I don't think so. The D.C. Police Union on the record says Trump is right. And they say, thank you, Trump, the D.C. Police Union.
We completely agree with the president that crime in the District of Columbia is out of control and something needs to be done with it. We have to go back to how we got here, though. In 2020, the D.C. City Council passed an enormous amount of legislation that handcuff police officers, exposes them to administrative, civil, and even criminal liability, even when they do their jobs properly. And now, 5 years later, our authorized sworn strength is 4,000 sworn police officers. We currently have 3,180. So we have more than 800 vacancies for the position of police officer. And the way the department makes up for that gap is through 2 million hours of mandatory overtime every year. So the fact that we need help from federal law enforcement and maybe even the National Guard, it shouldn't come as a surprise. And we agree with that.
There you go. Trump is right. The cops know. So, the cops are wrong. The people of the city that are randomly queried and interviewed in the Washington Post are wrong. The CBS News anchor is wrong. Kevin Corke is wrong from Fox News has been jacked. The list goes on and on and on. They're all wrong. This is worse than the lie during COVID when Don Lemon and other Democrats and other CNN people were saying, it's safe out there. What do you mean people it's not safe out there? This is worse. Okay, so what else do I have for you? I have Chuck Schumer's former policy director. Listen to this horrible remark. This is really embarrassing.
If people are afraid to come to D.C., go to Disney World, get fat, eat French fries. I don't care. I've lived here 37 years. I am not afraid. I live in the city. I'm not afraid of this city. If you're afraid, go ahead. Leave your fear someplace else.
I honestly think, and I don't wish hurt on anybody, harming anybody, but I honestly think this guy, one of these people that have said these stupid things on fake news, MSNBC, all these other people, one of these people is going to get jacked or something bad is going to happen to him. I hope not, but this is how things work, unfortunately. So I wouldn't be saying those things if I were them, and I'd be very careful. So let's also jump over to the funniest clip of the day of the weekend. This was on Fox News Sunday. This is Kathy Hochul saying, no, New York isn't rigged, but we're going to have to rig it because Texas is rigging it, and then Shannon Bream, for once, held somebody's feet to the fire. Faux reels. Here it is. Kathy Hochul, redistricting with Fox News Sunday.
Your state's highest court at the time, all the judges appointed by Democratic governors, they threw the maps out. So fair to say Democrats have done what they're now accusing Republicans of doing.
No, we followed the rules. We do it every 10 years. We base
But
it
the
on
court
census.
said you didn't follow the rules.
Well, we did follow the rules.
So the court was wrong?
Well, we followed the rules.
The court was wrong? Well, I can't say the court was wrong because they were right, but I'm not going to admit that I'm wrong. So we followed the rules. Yeah, you followed the rules. Off a cliff.